Hi, I'd like to talk a little bit about Mac pricing tonight. Yeah, um, for those of you who have followed, I've been in a number of arguments with people who are very strongly Mac, and a lot of times they accuse me of being very strongly Microsoft. This is not true. In fact, like I've often said, if I could use Ubuntu or some other Linux for everything on my computer, then my XP CD would become a frisbee you know? But it's the best I got. But that's not what I'm talking about today. The big argument that I constantly have is them saying that Mac is a better value for the money. And a lot of the other arguments out there are Mac comes in one box, Mac has OS X and all this other stuff, and it kind of falls short with me. One of my big ones, though, is the price point. And big argument I got into had me find an article recently about how a Mac Pro is the cheapest high-end, low-end, high-end workstation out there. Yeah, I was just as confused as you are right now. The article is describing how Mac has the cheapest workstation that isn't old right now. Yeah. Saying that their baseline Mac is even cheaper than if you bought the parts on like Newegg and went around on the internet and found them. And I've actually checked it out. It's about even actually. It's slightly more expensive to build if you do it that way. But here's the thing that they go on to say. Because they say that it's the best low end one, but if you want to upgrade it, you don't upgrade through Mac. No. Oh, yeah, it's a simple fact. If you wanted to get, I think the newest one has up to 32 gigabytes of fully buffered DDR whatever RAM, right? PC 800. Then you have to, let me get the, nah, never mind. I'm not going to look it up. You can do that for yourself, but it's about 2800 if I remember correctly. And there's companies out there that sell the same RAM for almost 1,000 less. So we're talking about upgrade for more than the cost of the RAM. Okay, so that's cool. The thing is, though, it's not just the RAM, because the same thing happens with many of the video cards that they're offering as upgrades. The processor. I mean, there's really no upgrade. Okay, I believe they actually beat out the price on the hard drives, but that's something else entirely. But there's very few upgrades that are economical to do it through the Mac. Okay, so you buy the base Mac and you get everything on the side. But you know what? You still bought all the base equipment for the Mac. And here's the thing. If you calculate in the price of the upgrades, even through a third party, then you start getting into the fact that the home build or Franken machine or whatever you want to call it is starting to creep up on the price. In fact, I believe around the preferable 8 gigabyte, the 8 gigabytes RAM, the system that works best with that, that's when it starts to get past the Mac pricing, and the home build gets cheaper. Well, it doesn't get cheaper. gets less expensive faster. Let's put it that. I'm confused too. Never mind. But anyways, brings me to a second point. Because, okay, you got your Mac now, and you just said that you just threw out one of the big things about Macs. Because if you do upgrades like this, you're not going to send the computer and the sticks of RAM back to the factory, and they're not going to put them in for you. You know, they're going to force you to buy their RAM if they're going to install it. So same thing with the CPU, same thing with the video card, same thing with the software. But you can buy them third party, or you can buy them on Amazon or what have you, and do it that way. Just gets rid of one of their arguments. That's all. Second big thing. This is actually along the same line because someone was throwing an argument at me. Show me a computer that has the equivalent of this. You don't have to, because you know what? Say I want to make one exactly identical to that Mac Pro, but running, oh, let's just go with GOS. I don't know. It's a crappy system. But actually, I've never used it, but it's the first one that came to mind. Say you want one that runs GOS, but is in every other way exactly identical to that Mac Pro. I can't find one in the circulars. I can't find one online. But here's the thing. Unlike Mac, you don't have to go to IBM. You don't have to go to Toshiba. You don't have to go to Dell. You can go to the neighborhood computer store and he or she can build one. I mean, hell, I just went there yesterday and asked the guy, if I came in here with specs, you don't have the parts, would you go online and buy them? He said, if you give me the money, yeah. And that's what it comes down to, you know? If you are completely computer illiterate and you want a really good computer, which kind of is stupid if you ask people, whatever, then you can go down to someone who knows. They can build it for you, and they'll sell it to you. You don't have to go through a big company. You can go to, I'll plug the guy since he was nice about me, Nexus Computer Systems in Quincy, Massachusetts. Well, you know what? It's just as good there. I mean, he's going to build it just the same way as they would in the factory. Just he's going to get his parts from online, where they're going to get theirs from the warehouse and charge you more for them. You know? Um, I don't completely endorse that, but you know what? If that's the way you want to go, that's the way you want to go. That was a good tyrant.